Welcome to another episode of the Brothers Watch. We just got out of seeing Final Destination Bloodlines, which is currently going pretty crazy right now. I don't know how the box office is doing, but on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 92%. IMDb says 7.1 out of
current?
10. This is current. So
it still says 9.2.
It still says 9.2. So I'm going to go ahead and just real quick before we give you our deep dive. Ben, what is your rating out of 10?
2.1. It's
wow.
a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's got a start, a middle, and an end.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that I give it a 2.5. Tony.
4-1.
4-1.
Dang. I'll
Jeff?
give it a 6.1.
Wow.
Whoa.
It's not for me.
I'm going to need you to defend yourself.
Those movies aren't for me. Okay, can you name a movie where you never see the villain and they wipe out how many people?
That's fair.
It's very unique.
There's a lot of unique factors to this.
I'm not crazy about just killing people just to kill them, but I get that's the shtick of the franchise. So,
well, it's not killing them just to kill them.
yeah, I feel like
it is the Fast and the Furious of horror.
it's just setting up a bunch of characters that are meat sacks.
Every
just want to
death
kill
is
them
more
in creative
ridiculous
ways.
than the next.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll preface it with this. Ben, myself, and Jeff, we're not really big Final Destination fans, and we're not really big into this genre per se. So if you really like Final Destination, Tony's going to be your best judge on this one. And I've got to say, if you love the movie, I'm happy you love the movie. Personally, it's not my style. I don't like Jeff said, I don't really like just going to a movie and watching everybody just get completely decapitated with no hope at all.
There was much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. You did have me. You had me in the first half. I will say,
Really?
When they were first up on. By the way, this is going to be spoilers. We're gonna be talking spoilers here. When they were up in the little sphere or whatever, I was like, okay, maybe this is going to be a little wild, but there's going to be ways to get around death, and it'll be kind of a cool little ordeal, bro. There was no running from it.
There was no hope in the beginning.
The first 10 minutes were the best part of the movie. There was at least some storytelling.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't particularly think that the acting was even very good.
The acting was awful.
Maybe
I
you're
didn't
not
think the
looking
acting
for
was that
that.
bad.
Yeah, that Jeff's surprising me a lot.
Yeah.
The main character and her brother were not good actors, in my opinion. I don't know.
I think I've just seen far worse. And again,
Yeah.
the movie's not for me, so I feel like it's a pretty low rating, but it was too unique, and I think they did it. Also, I don't think I felt that uncomfortable in a theater in a long
Right,
time.
so-
So I'll give it its due with those two pros.
I'll say, as a Final Destination fan and a horror genre fan personally, it's very hard for a movie to make me like cover my eyes. Not in like I don't want to see this because it's gross, but in like I know what's about to happen. It's very clear what's about to happen, but when is it going to happen? How's it going to happen? And you're on you're on the edge of your seat, sort of just waiting for this moment to happen. I think it's a genuinely difficult thing for movies to do that.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
I respect that in this movie.
for sure.
And the kills were very creative. I will say in the fifth one, the one that came out like a decade ago, the last installment, they did a really good job about setting up what was obviously going to be the kill and then it not being the kill and something totally different happening. I feel like this movie really kind of dropped the ball there. Like
They did it a few times.
there was a few times.
Such a good job with the they thought that the older brother was gonna get killed,
Right.
And then
Right.
they just dropped that bomb that he
Correct.
was a
That was definitely
It was hilarious.
interesting.
The barbecue scene, that's the one thing I'll say they set up well, and it got spoiled for me. I saw the director
Same.
talk
But
about
I
the
thought
clip in
everything else
advance.
was going to go wrong too. I thought everyone was
Yeah.
going to die in that scene. Yeah. I just like the setup. You can see the things kind of fall into place, and that's fun. And it's very unique for this franchise because to have that ability to do, like you said, there's not a bad guy, so it's not like someone's
never
lurking.
see- yeah.
It's just setup after setup, and then
Yeah.
But in the fifth one, there would be very clear setups, like everything we saw, and then it would be like on the cusp of happening the way you think it's going to happen, and then something totally random happened.
Yeah.
And changed everything.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that, like in the fifth one. This one, I felt it kind of dropped the ball there. The deaths were very creative. The opening scene, like just like every Final Destination has the opening disaster scene, I thought was epically good.
Yeah.
And I mean, this movie, in the cult history, the lore of it, the classicness, the cult following that it has is based off everyday life stuff, being able to maim and dismember you.
I get it.
That give you agoraphobia.
For sure.
I was
I was afraid to
definitely
go to the
anxious. Yeah, I was anxious. And if that's the point of Final Destination, which obviously it is, you did a great job. If you're a huge Final Destination fan, you're probably going to enjoy going to see this movie. So
For sure. You know, it was based off a X-Files episode.
Really?
Yeah, so like a writer wrote an episode for the X-Files as like a test write. Like he was trying to get on with the show. And this is what he wrote. And
Okay.
now it's 6 movies and a comic book. And
Yeah.
I think 12 books.
To be fair, like, you know, when I first left the theater, I was thinking, like you were saying, I was thinking that people were paid to review it that high. But honestly,
There's
like,
no way that movie earned.
But if you're a big Final Destination fan, it's probably only Final Destination fans that are going to see it. There's not a lot of random people that are like,
That's a very
let me
good
just
point.
go see this one.
That's a very good
So I totally understand how maybe it's getting a really high review from their cult fans. That's totally fine. As a just guy who clearly loves Star Wars and Jurassic Park, and you know, I love a lot of different style movies, but not necessarily this. I can't recommend it to a lot of people that I know necessarily. No. But like, yes, you would be the friend that I would say, go see this. And so your rating means a lot to me in this regard.
Halfway through the movie, I was like, I feel really bad that everyone's here off my recommendation.
No.
I was definitely over optimistic.
This is definitely our shtick. I like, as I was watching, I was excited to hear what Ben was going to have to say on this. And obviously he didn't disappoint. Like, I feel like his review very much stands out.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's very hard to say anything positive.
Yeah,
the movie.
because it's not our shtick for sure.
There were some funny parts.
There definitely some funny
The baby
parts.
part was funny.
Yeah.
The piercing was funny.
That was brutal.
I don't know if I would use funny as the right word to describe that scene.
That's fair.
But yeah, if the goal is to be as anxious as possible, yeah, definitely made me anxious the entire time.
And I will say, not to get on a soapbox here. This is a little beyond Final Destination, but it's just so disappointing that movies cannot like handle the horror franchise genre like Legacy when they remake everything. Halloween, Scream's okay, I guess, but like they remade Friday the 13th, they remade Nightmare on Elm Street, they remade Chucky, like all these remakes, they just I Know What You Did Last Summer trailer looks awful to me.
Oh, really? I thought it looked good.
I didn't think it looked good at all, but I could be wrong. Clearly, I don't know how to predict movies, but it's just, why is it so hard? Is it the nostalgia factor that plays into why the old ones were good and maybe they're all
I don't know.
Or-
For me, horror is best when there's a lot of like, it's a thriller first. So like if you build that story and you build the suspense and then there's horror aspects, that's when I like it. When there's a mystery, when you're running from something and then there's horror, that's fun to me. Like the original Halloween isn't like a horror really, is it? That's my
Slash
style.
considering
of
it's
thing.
late 80s. Yeah, it's pretty horror.
I like that though, where there's a way out, even though you can't even find him at the end of the movie. You know, like he disappears. That's fine to me. But when it's like just, hey, by the way, we're going to stack bodies the entire movie, and there's no chance at all. I'm numb to it by the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
It's variety though. How many times can you recreate a movie? And I want them to do it better, but how many times can you recreate a movie about Child's Play?
Well,
about Scream?
Well, my argument would be like I would pay good money to go watch a shot-for-shot remake of the first Halloween.
Yeah, I would.
Or like as close to
just like a modern version?
Yeah, just modernize it. You know?
I don't hate those ideas.
Better acting, better graphics, better effects. I would watch that. I mean, I know like Rob Zombie did his thing where he kind of
That wasn't a shot for shot. Though.
No. He reimagined the whole story.
Oh, okay.
And like I'm cool with that too. Just do it better.
Yeah.
Why can't they not just do it?
So, you know, like a franchise like The Conjuring is
Now,
really
that movie
but they're
good.
doing it very well because like they're taking the same type of deal and they just repackage it and with really good acting, with a ton of suspense.
Yeah, they got
and
super
scary as hell.
Super lucky with the main characters in that movie.
Yeah,
franchise.
but like that's what you could do, I think, with the horror genre.
My question for this movie, why was it released in May? Like if I'm going to watch a horror movie, I want to watch it in the fall.
You know, I actually don't know, but I will say that I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, I'm not a big movie knowledge person as far as the theaters go, but I do think horrors are typically released in the summertime.
Yeah, I always wonder
Because,
that too. Why
Like
not?
how many, I know we were in a horror movie, but the trailers were like, bang, 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 horror movie. Mm-hmm. I really think this is when they come out. I don't know why. I just don't think, maybe it was like back in the day, they came out in the summer so the DVD could come out in the fall. But from my memory, I think summertime is the horror.
I mean, you could be right. When we walked up to the theater, there was like 2 or 3 other horror film posters on the wall that, to be honest, I didn't even know were out.
Same.
Yeah, but how much more in the mood would you be if October 1st rolled around and there's just a docket? There's just a bunch of
100%.
Exactly. I would do it too. I would be way more prone to go see that.
In theaters, they want some free money. Just start re-releasing classic horror movies in October in the theaters.
Absolutely.
Like I would pay money to go watch the Halloween movie, 1980.
Yeah.
Of course I would.
Yeah, and for me especially, like when I go to a theater, I'm always prone to rate it higher. I think most people are. Like once you go to the theater and you're in the whole experience, like when you leave, you're more prone to rank it better. I just didn't have it in this one.
No, but you're still right. If I'd watched that at home, I would have turned it off.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
I just didn't like it. Yeah. I mean, it was fun. I was laughing at every scene. Like that was just so over the top. Like, and some of the like not even death scenes, but like the injury scenes, like the degloving of the finger and him stepping on the glass. That was unsettling.
Bro, the whole movie was unsettling.
I'm not very easily unsettled. I will say they gave a great sign off to Tony Todd.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Tony Todd is the only person that's been in all of the Final Destinations movies. He's Candyman. He's not comic book. He's a horror movie icon. He's died.
A legend.
Yeah, he is a legend. He died right after filming this of cancer, which is what his character dies from in this movie. Sort of off. You don't really see him die.
They gave him a good send off.
Yeah, and he had a nice.
He did it
monologue.
off script.
What?
Yeah, his lines weren't scripted for it.
He just did it. Yeah, that makes sense.
I could have sworn this was going to be the movie to where he just opened that door after giving that courageous send off, and then he was just like a piano was going to fall on his face.
Yeah, he just ran into that kid. That was so great.
Yeah.
I will say though that in that monologue scene in the background, that body that was being autopsied,
Yeah.
reminded me a lot of his Candyman's body.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was an homage or not, or maybe I'm stretching.
That's interesting. I didn't think of that.
But he had a great monologue, great send off.
That's another pro.
Human, yeah.
So
that was my
pros,
favorite part.
Defending
Of
my
Yeah,
score,
let's go ahead. Pros.
Tony Todd send off, amazing. The uniqueness of not ever seeing the villain and it being so
I like that.
devastating, and I didn't hate the acting. I really did.
Who's your favorite character?
I was rooting for that brother the entire time.
Yeah, the
the
really
brother-
dumb one.
The beta one.
Well, no. The girl's brother.
The one who goes to prom.
Yeah, I was rooting for the guy who was allergic to peanut butter the whole time.
I was talking about the peanut butter guy.
The peanut butter guy, I was like, oh yeah, I'm rooting for him, but of course he's gonna get maimed. So yeah, okay, pros for Tony.
My favorite parts, pros, whatever. The Tony Todd send off. I thought that it was very clever with some of the kill scenes and comical, like with the kid, like he finally made it.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. The first opening scene, the disaster scene was great. There's a lot of, if you like movies with references, thing is chock full of past Final Destination movie references. So like the very end scene, logs come down, so I enjoyed that.
Ben, pros?
Theming from the first 10 minutes of the movie. I like the flash or the throwback.
Okay. Yeah.
Before all hell breaks loose. And then, believe it or not, I liked the scene with Eric in the tattoo parlor.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Did you?
That was funny.
Yeah. I thought it was funny.
I kind of enjoyed that
He
too.
was
to
my
be honest.
favorite character, honestly.
He was my favorite character too.
Because he was the only one that was like somewhat realistic.
Yeah, and not stupid.
Yeah, I thought he was funny too. I thought that his character was pretty comical the entire time.
Stupid though, waiting in that MRI room.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that like metal and MRIs don't go together.
Well, like Ben said, I think that tattoo scene was pretty funny to me. I thought that some of the comedic aspects of it and them. So I'm not that familiar with Final Destination, so that's why my rating might be a little aggravating to people too. But I did think that them setting up the little chain reactions was funny. I thought that was cool. Like you were seeing it unfold that before it actually was going down.
It definitely progressively got more emphasized in the franchise. Like the first movie, you just kind of see death as it's doing those things.
Okay.
And then like later they start like, oh, this falls and then gets like on the edge of this, and then you see like the dominoes start to come together, which is fun. I like that. What are those things called? Those like a domino falls and hits the race car and it goes down the loop and then it jumps the thing and hits the toast.
I don't know.
Some sort of
chain reaction.
Domino effect.
No, there's like a human being's name.
The
Rube Goldberg machine. That's what it's called.
Say it again.
Rube, Rube Goldberg machine.
Okay.
It's like when one thing falls and then triggers another thing and then another thing and all that happens just
I
to
thought
like.
that was the girl that died in the Hunger Games. Sorry.
Please go ahead and give us your rating down below, your review. Let us know if we are correct in our assessment. Let us know what
And
you
your favorite
disagree with.
Final Destination movie?
And yes, let us know your favorite Final Destination movie below. So we're going to be seeing movies all year long, whether we like them or not. So like, subscribe, join our Discord down below, and we will see you in the next episode.